This is America in Space, a weekly news and information program on current events dealing with the space industry. From the Washington News Bureau, here is your host, Rick Potlock.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of America in Space. In this episode, Mark Roper joins us for the final two parts of his five-part series, Is NASA Worth the Money? But first, Sunday, January 23rd, SpaceX launched their third mission of 2021, the first dedicated small-sat rideshare program mission, dubbed Transporter-1, from the Kennedy Space Center Launch Pad 40. The rideshare program is designed for small satellite customers. This particular launch put 133 commercial and government spacecraft and 10 more of the Starlink satellites into orbit. SpaceX said that Sunday's launch put, quote, the most spacecraft ever deployed on a single mission, end quote. The SmallSat program offers companies and government agencies an affordable way to get their CubeSats, which are microsatellites and other small spacecraft, into orbit. The program's customers literally hitch a ride on other Falcon 9 launches, but Sunday's launch by SpaceX was the first time they're the main point of a mission. All 143 spacecraft were successfully deployed. Former JPL engineer Mark Roper joins us for the last two parts in his series, Is NASA Worth the Money? Part 4 is on the economy, and Part 5 is exploration and imagination.
Of the $18 billion that NASA gets, it's not like they're just putting that money on a rocket and launching it into space. The majority of that money goes towards the salaries of tens of thousands of some of America's most skilled workers. And one of the counter-arguments here is, yeah, but why do we need the government to fund these programs? Why not let private companies do the innovating? Private space companies like SpaceX or Blue Origin are awesome, and they play an important role, but they're incentivized to pursue technologies that will give them a return on investment, like space tourism or asteroid mining or launching satellites for other organizations. There's just no incentive for a private company to invest in tracking and deflecting asteroids or investing in Earth science missions like SMAP and then making the data available for free to anyone who needs it. I think it's captured best by what some call the most important picture ever taken. What you see here is the result of a 10-day exposure image from the Hubble Deep Space Telescope. With the exception of these three dots, which are single stars, every speck, smudge, and spiral you see in this image is a galaxy with hundreds of billions of stars, just like our own Milky Way galaxy. Most remarkably, the field of view captured here is the darkest part of the night sky, the size of Roosevelt's eye on a dime, held at arm's length. We send men to the moon and orbiters to Saturn and rovers to Mars, not necessarily because there's some financial incentive or some quick payoff we're looking to exploit, but because as humans, there are fundamental burning questions we yearn to answer. The first person to set foot on Mars is alive right now. They could be in junior high or high school. He or she could be watching this video right now. It could be you. I feel that our continued exploration of space in all its forms fills me with hope and inspires me to reach higher and makes me a better person.
And special thanks to Mark Roper, former NASA engineer at JPL for 9 years. And if you're wondering, he worked on the Mars Curiosity rover for 7 of those 9 years. Mark made mention of the acronym SMAP, S-M-A-P. It stands for Soil Moisture Active Passive. It's an environmental satellite launched back in 2015. And now here is David Denault with the final episode of Space Trivia.
Rick, much has been focused on the asteroid Bennu and the collecting of its samples. Well, my space trivia question today is, name the first spacecraft to study ancient asteroids of Jupiter. Again, name the first spacecraft to study the ancient asteroids of Jupiter. Now, you'll have until midnight tonight to submit your answer to info@aboutspace.today. Back to you, Rick.
And that wraps up another edition of America in Space. Reporting from the Washington News Bureau, I'm Rick Potlock.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to share our program with your family and friends and follow us on Facebook. Join us each week for news and information on America in Space.